2 and 3 stars. It's going to happen. And if you start to see it happen more and more over sometimes it's just a run that you get from your manufacturer.
Yep.
This has happened to me with another brand where what's going on? Why all these 1, 2 stars coming in? Well, it was just a bad batch of product that, came in.
Lunch with the Norm.
Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing how you can stop returns and preventing negative reviews on Amazon. We're also going to be talking about Amazon's newest platform called Perfect Launch Score, PLS, and this is the PLS program, how sellers can access this new program, and how can brands benefit from it. All right, everybody, welcome to another Lunch with Norm and the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Okay, like I mentioned, it's going to be a little different today. We're going to be talking about stopping returns and preventing negative reviews on Amazon. Our guest, this is a first-time guest, was a e-commerce director of an enterprise-level brand, meaning it was big. He identified real pain points in their business and built solutions to address these issues. With his latest project, he has developed a feature to allow sellers to communicate directly with the customers to reduce customer returns. Now get this is through Amazon. Some of you may have seen this, but this is a really cool feature. Anyways, today we are going to be talking to Joe Abitbol. And but before we do that, let's get to a sponsor. Are you struggling to keep up with your Amazon business? Do you need help from a skilled, reliable virtual assistant? Well, look no further than the Virtual Assistant Academy, or VAA Philippines. Founded by successful Amazon sellers who know the challenges of hiring quality VAs, VAA specializes in locating, screening, training, and supporting high-quality VAs in the Philippines. Their VAs receive extensive Amazon training and ongoing professional development and are committed to a long-term working relationship with you. Partner with VAA and experience the peace of mind knowing that you have a dedicated Amazon-trained VA who's up to date with the latest tools and trends in the dynamic Amazon marketplace. Head over to VAAphilippines.com and let VAA match you with your ideal VA today. Joseph, where are you? How are you, sir?
Good morning. How are you? Good afternoon. We're in Brooklyn, New York.
I know that. Well, I guess everybody else doesn't know that. But anyways, Joseph, we're going to have to get you a cup of coffee. Or,
we got one.
You don't have one of our mugs, though. And I don't want this to be the first time and the last time that you're on. You haven't been on the podcast before, right?
No.
We never brought on Seller Locker before. I don't know why we didn't, but it's just been a long time. And you're such a knowledgeable guy in this industry. We got to get you back on. But let's start talking about today. When you reached out and you were talking about these, you called me up and you said you had something really cool, that a new app that actually Amazon approved. You walked me through it and my mouth was hanging down because I had no idea, first of all, Amazon would ever allow you to do what you're doing. And not only that, they're endorsing it. Like, okay, you want to have communication, you want to have better customer service, use this. And I'm noticing that a lot of accounts that I'm coming up, like when I'm going and shopping on, it's using your service. So why don't we just get started with that? Because then we can get into a whole bunch of other things. But tell everybody about what you've been able to do, which is incredible.
Thank you. Definitely. So we're seeing a lot more Amazon trying to take a stab at stopping returns. More recently, we've been seeing, a frequently returned product badge on the bottom of products. Returns is a major issue for them. They make a lot more money on the turn of products versus the sitting of unsellable inventory in their fulfillment centers. And it costs them a lot to store these products versus just selling more of the top sellers. They've been trying to do a ton of different things. About 18 months ago, they reached out to one of the companies that I work for as a director of e-commerce there. And it's one of the biggest vendors on Amazon, 1P. And they asked if we would be interested in them providing support on some of our top sellers. Us providing manuals and documents to them, videos, so that if a customer maybe wanted to click the return button, they would defer them to maybe a how-to video or a manual. They even pitched me on potentially them live chatting with our customers. So they click, and this was just in beta at that time, or it was just, it was only an idea, a big yellow get product support button, which we'll show on the screen in a bit, on top of the returns button. So it'd be a click away from the returns button, and Amazon reps would deal with my customers in order to teach them how to use the product. So I think it was like $1 or $2 per chat. So I didn't love the idea. I felt like, what is Amazon going to do? I don't trust their customer support team in general. We've seen it on the seller side. How much better could it be on the customer side? I thought it would maybe lead to even more returns than less.
Right.
And I didn't think it was such a great idea. So I pitched back saying, hey, we're in the software space. We have access to a ton of different sellers. Let's just try it on maybe some of my accounts or my products. What if we were to redirect that click instead of to you guys to a support center? We will only be doing support on that page. We won't be doing any selling, no off of Amazon selling, none of that stuff, just support, a live chat with my team as opposed to your team. And we beta tested it. Then we pilot tested it with a few different brands, which I'll show you. And now we have a few hundred brands that are using this platform as a way to connect the customer with the brand with the purpose of providing support. So educating them as best as you can through how-to videos, manuals, troubleshooting, frequently asked questions. But then if you can't do that, or if your product is not a product that needs education, giving you that communication channel. So they get to your site, which again, I'll show you all that on the screen, hit a live chat, hit a submit a ticket. And for the first time, brands are now in touch with the Amazon customer to stop an Amazon return. An FBA return is the biggest expense on our statements at the end of the 2 weeks. And any return that you can transfer over to a replacement unit, even if you give them a free unit, and I'll show the numbers on the screen too, you can reduce your return cost by about 40 to 50%.
Wow. Yeah. And, even before you said that, one of the things that we try to do is if somebody comes in with that complaint or that return, we just want to send them something, because it's exactly like you said. It's such a big cost once. And I'm talking a cost to your customers and the customer overall experience,
Sure.
as well as to your account. So anyways, and I just want to be clear, anybody who's listening right now, that this podcast, we don't go and we don't promote, and there's no affiliate link here. This is just an incredible, just an app that we thought would be really cool to show everybody here. And we're going to get into a bunch of other things too, but there's only one person or one company that has this app. So anyways, you kind of got the market cornered on this, but it's so cool. Why don't we just get into and take a look? You can share the screen if you'd like.
Great. So we're actually so the program at Amazon is called the PLS program. So they gave it a name finally. And the goal of the program is, it's product lifecycle support. The goal of the program, we have an endorsement video from our partner at Amazon over here. This is, I guess we can share this link after. This is just, the overall package of our business. But the goal, like I mentioned, is to put in touch the customer with the brand. So this is the Amazon orders page. And you can see my screen, right, Norm?
Yeah.
So someone goes to their Amazon account, they click orders. It takes them to a list of their products that they purchased. Usually someone can click return or write a product review. Out of those few actions that you have up there, the actionables are usually return or write a product review. Depends how upset that customer is. If they're just simply looking to return the item, they click in return. And if they're extremely upset, which is more likely than happy, they're clicking write a product review.
Oh, Joe, can I just interrupt you right there?
Sure.
Just for a second. So if you don't take action, and if you don't, you can get a double whammy here.
Sure.
If you're not working on the overall customer experience, and you don't respond or you don't do anything, well, you might end up getting the return and a 1-star. So I think that's really important here to point out.
Sure, 100%. And I don't even know which one's more expensive, the return or the negative review. I guess it depends how many reviews you already have on your listing, and are you launching the product or not. Usually, hopefully, you can swallow that product review, but those returns, and I'm going to show you the numbers behind it, add up to a ton.
Yeah.
So what we've been able to pitch Amazon is, instead of this get product support button linking to an Amazon chat for the FBA brand, so it has to be a brand registered FBA brand, we're able to link this get product support page to a landing page. So this is actually one of our first betas that we launched with. The goal here, so it's Papa Shot. They sell, I think, the #1 basketball hoop on Amazon. It's like an arcade game. And the goal of the landing page was to just help customers for this particular product with assembly. We did a returns audit for them. We saw that a lot of customers have issues installing the product. They have all the assets, they have the creatives behind it. They just had no way of presenting it to the customer. We also turned on the live chat for them. Doesn't have to be all the time. It can be certain hours of the day. But now, for the first time, anyone who's having an issue with the product, let me note that the get product support button, the reason why it's so valuable is, if a customer wanted to click return, let's say he was unhappy, he opened it up, he was unhappy, or he bought 2 and 1 came faster, he's clicking return. You can't really stop the customer who wants to return the product. This button really is for the customer who wants to keep the product. So the tickets that you're going to get are not, just customers complaining. This is going to be customers that are, hey, I want to keep this product. How can you help me do that? So the quality of the customers coming through are really high. So they come in, they can either educate themselves or they can watch a video on how to install their product properly. Next, Amazon wanted us to test. This is one of our older pages, so we're going to show you some cool ones soon. But the goal of this page was to prove, hey, this is not really a technical product. It's just a sandal. What kind of results can we see on a product like this? And this is more of a beta for Amazon and for us at this time. And we were shocked. We ended up seeing hundreds of tickets come through, customers that had different expectations when they bought the product. The brand was also able to learn a lot about why people are actually returning their products, besides for it being a sizing issue. What are the other issues that people are having with them? And then this is really the software component. So that's just the connection. On the software side, you get the ticket. So it's a ticketing system. You have all the API data. So you're able to see when the person ordered it. Is he still within his return window? With one click, you can refund the customer. With another click, you can ship them a replacement from your warehouse or using Amazon's inventory. But the goal, like I mentioned, is to connect you with that Amazon customer. So that Amazon customer came in extremely frustrated. He only wore it a few times, and it's supposed to be a really rugged sandal, and the sandal happened to rip. So in that situation, Norm, like you mentioned, this is probably a refund and a negative review. And you can see the customers even threatening here. Before I post a negative review on Amazon, I want to give you a chance to respond. So the customer got a response from the brand really quickly, either through live chat or an email, but quick response from the brand. And then you can see the customers, that their perspective and their attitude changed completely. Thanks so much for true customer support. I appreciate it and can't wait for my replacement, sandal. I'll tell you about the financial impact, but first I'll just show you a few more landing pages. What we do at Onsite. So I want to talk more about the financial benefits of just focusing on returns. I want it to be more educational, this podcast, but what we do at Onsite is we build these landing pages. We help brands create a destination for support with manuals, with how-to videos, setting up the live chat, giving a brand everything they need to provide quality support to a customer.
So just so people are clear, when they're looking at what you're showing, and anybody who's not can't see a visual right now, we're looking at different landing pages that were created, and some of these newer ones that we're looking at right now look very similar to an A+ or your Amazon store, but this is not that. This is a separate landing page altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a support destination where it's really completely flexible. We can break it out by product. We can break it out by brand. Once we get a little smarter and we start identifying root issues of your returns, we could even break it up by returns and have a separate workflow for each one of these customers. With one click, they can fill out a form and get a replacement unit from the warehouse. You can register warranties on this page. You can even request reviews from customers who you've provided quality support to. The goal of this page should and will always be to provide quality support, but there's definitely a bunch of other benefits you can get out of this page. I want to jump into the financial benefit just of
Yep.
having, of course, stopping a review. You can't put a dollar on what that's worth, especially during a product launch time. And obviously, when you have a customer and you can make him happy, he's not going out of his way to slander the company anymore, even though that may have been his initial agenda. Let's talk about the financial impact. Somebody buys something on Amazon, and within that first 12 seconds where they open it, they decide, hey, this isn't for me. It was what I was expecting. They're sending it back. The profit on a $30 sale, we'll walk through it. This is just an average. I took a bunch of different ASINs. It all ended up being around the same. You take a $30 retail, Amazon has their referral fees, about a $6 to $7 FBA fee, monthly storage, shipping into Amazon. I didn't even put ads into this because everyone has a different ad strategy, but that's got to be at least another 10, 20%. You're talking about a $5 to $6 in profit on a $30 retail, private label type of item. Hopefully about 18 to 22% in margin. What happens when an Amazon return on one of your products happens? So let's say a return happens next. Amazon pulls the full $30. So you add a $5 to $6 profit. Right off the bat, Amazon pulls back the 30. What brands don't know is that they don't return back to you the pick and pack fee. Technically, Amazon did ship out that product. They did, and they picked it and they packed it and they shipped it. They're not giving that back. So you do lose the FBA fee on every single return that goes back and forth. There is a referral fee that Amazon gives a portion of it back. So they'll give 80% back of the referral fee, but you're still out 20%. For some categories, there's a return processing fee. And 42% of whatever you ship back to Amazon in a return ends up in unsellable status. So if you think about it for a second, you're paying to ship a damaged or defective unit back to Amazon, and it's going to sit there in unsellable status. So you're going to have to either ship to send it home, pay to ship it home, or you're going to have to pay Amazon to dispose of it. So at the end of the day, you're paying to ship 42% of the time a defective unit back to Amazon. So on a $30 item, which would have yielded a $5 to $6 profit, that now turned into a $21 loss. It's going to take 3 sales to make up for 1 return. This is the financial impact of a regular FBA return, which up until now, brands had no ability to stop. Someone clicks return, you can't really stop them. Our goal in Onsite, from a financial standpoint, is to take those returns. Obviously, if you can educate them to keep the product, that's the largest return. But in a worst case scenario, even if you gave the customer a brand new unit, you say, keep the one you currently have, throw it away. I'm going to send you a brand new one and I'm going to pay for shipping. You would still cut those return costs in about half. Instead of a $21 loss, that would cut it down to about a $13 loss. And in other scenarios I've seen, if the brands have the margin, they can even break even or profit a little bit, even after giving the customers a free product and a free shipping, and they're paying for shipping. You can still cut those return costs in half. So the goal, to just be clear, is for a brand to take those returns and turn them into replacements. Besides for cutting down those costs, you're creating brand loyalty, like you mentioned earlier, Norm, a repeat customer, a referral. You're totally changing the image of your brand and giving that customer true customer loyalty. We've seen tickets, hey, you just created a customer for life, or I'll be back to buy more from this brand, because they trust that you're going to do the right thing in the end of the day. About 10 to 20% of sales in some particular categories on FBA come from repeat customers, which we've been able to track. So it is extremely beneficial from a financial standpoint to turn those returns into replacements. And up until now, without this yellow button, really, we haven't been able to speak to Amazon customers. So for the first time, that button allows us to make that shift from returns to replacements.
Now, you haven't even touched on that 1 star. So if
Yeah.
they end up giving you the 1 star, let's say you've just launched and you've got a couple of reviews, that's definitely going to impact it.
Oh, of
But
course.
another area, let's say you're up there and maybe you've got 100 reviews plus, and that 1 star brings you from 4 down to 3.9, or where you see 3.5 stars rather than 4 stars, and it's based on that one, that I was going to say something, but that 1 star review. You
Perfectly
can't.
said, Norm. I have a great stat for you. You ready for this?
Yeah.
This is just what we've been able to collect. Research has shown that the difference between a 3.9 and a 4.3, so that when you jump from below 4-star ratings, your conversions on Amazon drop by 20%.
Jeez.
We know, of
Wow.
course, Amazon likes to show products that have better ratings, but I'll show you from a sales standpoint. From an impression standpoint, people from clicks, just clicks on your listing. So whether
Yep.
that's advertised clicks or regular clicks, the difference between a 3.9 and a 4.0 is double the impressions. You will double your clicks or lose half of your clicks when you drop below that 4.0 rating. And obviously, there's other benefits like improved pricing power. If you have strong reviews and ratings, eventually you can raise your price. You don't always have to be the lowest product on the block if you have a quality product. I'll show you another cool thing just with regards to just, so this is that frequently returned badge that everybody's been talking about.
Yep.
I grabbed this from Vendor Central because Seller Central doesn't really talk about what's their benchmark from a return rate standpoint. And we've all been, questioning what is Amazon considered to be a bad return rate. So I've been actually able to pull this. It seems like what they're calculating as a benchmark is 4.9%. I don't know if you go above that, if you're going to get this badge. I'm not going to predict that.
Yep.
But something that I've seen from Vendor Central, 1P, is that they're calling out products that have more than a 4.9% benchmark, and they're giving you a warning to go ahead and address that listing. I don't know what that's going to turn into for those particular products. We've actually seen this week not frequently returned, so a positive badge. So stopping returns and negative reviews obviously will have a heavy impact on your sales. I'll show you one more.
I know if I saw that badge,
Yeah, I'm not
just
buying it.
from me, I'm not buying it.
Me neither.
Wow.
I'll show you one more cool thing from a financial, from like what someone would get out of using Onsite. So you get to now see the reasons people are returning products. Because if you go to your returns report and you look at one of the columns, it says defective and then it says damaged or whatever. It doesn't actually tell you what is bad with the product. You can't actually understand why someone is returning the product. This is actually something that we pulled for a pretty big brand. We were able to find that they had an 11.6% return rate on one of their core items. 41% of the people that were returning them were claiming defective. Now, they've tested hundreds of them at the factory, at the warehouse level, and they all seem to be working. They've sent it to labs because this was a pretty big product for them. And still, everything seems to be working just fine. When they turned on Onsite, we were able to look through the comments, and they were actually able to go back and forth with dozens of customers. And they were able to find out that because their listings in one of the titles or bullets said garage heater, RV heater, the product that they were actually offering doesn't serve a garage. To actually be a garage heater, you got to be able to really warm up that garage during the winter. This was like a small desktop heater. So it was actually one of their own doings, which were having a huge financial impact on their return rate. They made a quick change to the listing and boom, they were able to change their return rates just like that. That same customer sold, I think, water filters, and they were getting a lot of returns just talking about expired water filters. So this just talks to like the voice of the customer and product insight. Again, same thing. Water filters don't really expire. I think they have like a 10-year lifespan. They don't expire, Brita water filters. And again, expired, and they didn't understand why customers were clicking that. What they ended up learning through speaking through the chat was on the bottom of their boxes, there was a factory run code, like that's how many runs they've done on this particular SKU, and it said 2017. That was their run code, so that they would be able to always identify back to that run. So now customers are flipping it over saying, wow, 2017, this expired, 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I'm done with this product. They're sending it back. But again, you would never know this type of product insight without that new communication channel. So that's why Amazon's loving it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now we are at the bottom of the hour. And at this point, well, first of all, I see that there's a few questions coming in. If you do have any other questions about this really cool topic today, just let us know. Or if you have any comments, I'm just curious if anybody listening has ever used this. Either you have it for your brand, or you've used this to talk directly to customer service. So anyways, let us know. Now, if you're new to the podcast, I see there's a bunch of people listening today. If you're new to the podcast, we always have something called the Wheel of Kelsey, and that's a giveaway at the end of the podcast. So if you are interested in, I've got coffee coming, very important stuff. But if you are interested, it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll get a second entry. And thank you for the coffee. All right, Joseph, right? It's Joseph. Is Joe or Joseph?
It depends who's asking.
Okay, I'll just say Joseph. That way I carry it all. Though I got it all. But anyways, what's the giveaway today?
So usually the way it works is you sign up and you pay an onboarding fee. It's usually $400 to onboard. For your listeners, we are giving 50% off, so it'll just be $200. We create the landing page. We connect it with Amazon. And there's a lot of work to do that.
Yep.
Make sure every ASIN gets all of the connections properly. So your listeners are already getting 50% off. We're going to give it completely free to just one listener.
Perfect. All right. And so if your mouth is dropping like mine did when I first talked to Joseph, I'd be entering. I wish I could enter. So hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll get a second entry. All right, Kels, can we have a word from the sponsor? I want to give a quick shout out to an incredible group of sponsors to help keep this podcast running. The Lunch with Norm podcast would not be possible without the support of the following sponsors: Post Purchase Pro, Clear Ads, Jeff Schick Law, Rebate.com, Honu Worldwide, Digital Blacksmiths, Netfluence, Extreme Power, and Startup Club. Now back to the show. Okay, and we have 2 other sponsors, VAA, which my son, who's on his way back to Montreal, has to edit still, and Wally Smarter. So these are going to be 2 new sponsors that will be showing up, and thank you for all the sponsors for their support. Okay, now back to this. This is so cool. I'm just looking at some of the comments and some of the questions that are, and we will get to those questions at the end of the podcast. But anyways, you said hundreds. I can't see why there's not thousands using this.
We need more exposure.
You definitely do. You definitely do. And the other part about it, I mean, this is going to be the question everybody's going to be asking. Can I afford it? Like, what type of seller? Like, what are the costs behind this? And again, I want everybody to know, we do not have an affiliate. We're not trying to pump this. This is just a cool app that I saw, and I thought Joseph's got to get on here.
So let's talk about pricing. Thanks, Norm. Pricing works like this. So we mentioned that onboarding fee. Usually you just pay the onboarding fee. And what we do is we go to work building your website, working with you to go ahead and get all of your content into that landing page. You work with one of our professional website builders. And then we also work on the Amazon integration for you. That does take a lot of work. So all that is covered by the onboarding fee. Your listeners already get 50% off. So you just pay $200 to get started. In about a week to 2 weeks time, the landing page is finished and Amazon is fully integrated. You should start getting tickets already rolling into your account. We also, Onsite does pay for a channel reply account. So if you're not familiar with what channel reply is, they are an integrator between all of the different channels that you sell on Amazon. So not just Amazon, also eBay, Walmart, Shopify, Newegg, Back Market. we're going to bring all those tickets into our tool as well. So we don't want you to have any more platforms you got to check for your tickets, even your buyer seller messaging on Amazon. So we're going to pay for that too. All that comes in with a $299 subscription. So the subscription is $299 a month, unlimited ASINs, unlimited tickets. We pay for your channel reply account. You get access to our web designers all year long to make any changes that you'd like. The software is typically for someone, in my opinion, doing probably $600,000 to $700,000 a year. If someone's doing $1 million on Amazon and they have a 5 to 6% return rate, that's about 60 grand per year that they're losing in return costs. If you can spend a few $100 a month to take a stab at bringing down that tens of thousands of dollars in costs and returns, it's a well worth it investment. And then of course you layer in increasing your ratings and stopping negative reviews. But just from a financial standpoint, you're spending a few $100 a month to go ahead and potentially bring down your return costs by tens of thousands of dollars.
You're being very conservative, because if I would have priced this out, I'm talking about seller wise, 600,000. I know that's where the math kind of figures out, but we don't take into consideration the overall customer experience. So it's so bloody important that that's a factor, as well as that star rating. If you're selling 30,000 or 40,000 and you are having problems understanding, like you were talking about the defect rate, what exactly is the problem? Why am I getting these returned? I'll give you a great example, by the way. And it just came up this week on the podcast, but we used to work with a brand that was making these leg elevation cushions. And
Sure.
anyways, they were really, like, all the reviews were really great. Everything was going really well, but the returns were coming back left, right, and center. We were over 11%. And we're going, what is going on? And what it is, take a guess. How long do you need to have an injury leg cushion? Well, it's less than a month.
Sure.
So it just started to get returns and returns and returns. But, just understanding the reason why could help you address the problem right in your listing. You could address it in your A+, and you've got the ability, in this case, if you're using this app, it could be on that landing page that they create, but you're getting insight. So your star rating goes up, hopefully, instead of down. And take a look. You're going to get 1, 2, and 3 stars. It's going to happen. And if you start to see it happen more and more over sometimes it's just a run that you get from your manufacturer.
Yep.
This has happened to me with another brand where what's going on? Why all these 1, 2 stars coming in? Well, it was just a bad batch of product that, came in. So anyways, that's just my take on this. I just think that this is so bloody important.
We actually have 3 brands that are in the pillow, I guess, category that you were mentioning. Yep. And like the problems that they were seeing, all 3 of them is, the factory tries to make it as small as possible from a packaging standpoint to, have a lower FBA fee.
Yep.
So in being FBA fee conscious, they didn't realize that they were kind of compressing the product. And therefore, when the customer receives the product, it would probably make sense for them to let it air it out for, I think, 24 hours is the recommendation from the factory.
Yep.
So all these customers are receiving this item saying, hey, it's a lot smaller than how it's advertised online, or it's not full size. I received a damaged product. And now they all put in product inserts saying, hey, let the product decompress for 24 hours before its first use. So like that, there's so many different examples. I had just from a product launch standpoint too. I personally, this is one of the reasons why Amazon loved the product so much. We were selling like a pizza oven on Amazon, like one of those Uni pizza ovens, just like a different brand that we created. And I sent 500 pieces to FBA, a really big investment. And I gave I told my friends to buy a few, let me know what you think. And all of a sudden I saw that every single person that was buying the product was returning it, every single one.
Wow.
And this was like $200,000 to $300,000 in an investment. And what I found was that the oven would not turn on. Imagine you spent $300 on a pizza oven and the igniter doesn't turn on. The factory messed up on their latest run, like you mentioned, and the oven won't turn on. So we had 500 pieces at FBA. No good. Like we were even considering sending someone to FBA to try, and Amazon was considering letting us fix it at the warehouse. It was just like a little piece we needed to add to the knob. We added that yellow button right away. It was one of our own first pilots, and 498 of the 500 people that bought the product clicked that yellow button, and we were just able to send them out that replacement little piece that they put in their knob and totally fix the issue.
Wow.
So it's like insurance on the products that you are that you're launching. It's like a great product launch insurance too.
So that little piece mailed out,
Sure.
compared to basically having to send everything back.
Yeah.
What a logistics nightmare. Anyways, I'm sold on this. And I'm sure there's a lot of questions about this right now. Tony, actually, I know Tony Sagar is in the pillow business, so he knows probably exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so let's talk about access.
Sure.
So to access the app, it's pretty easy to do. And like you said, you're doing most of the work. So I'm a brand, I'm interested in doing this. How do I get in touch and do this?
So you go to onsitesupport.io and you click sign up.
Yep.
I guess we'll put in a coupon code that they can sign up. I'll make it active right after this call.
Sure.
I guess we'll make it Norman if you want.
Whatever.
And that'll give them that 50% off right off the bat.
How about Norm 50? There we go.
That's fine. Norm 50. We'll do it right after this call. We'll do Norm 50 for the 50% off. So they signed up. We connect with their account. So we just start onboarding your ASINs with Amazon while we start building your landing page. In about 10 days time, they're totally done and you start getting tickets.
Fantastic. Okay, now let's move on. I just hear my wife coming again and wondering if I'm getting more coffee. We talked about the benefits. Can we just go through a list, like just actions, not action steps, but just like 5 benefits or whatever amount of benefits that people will get?
Sure. So it's reducing your return costs. So bringing down the dollars that you're losing per return, avoiding returns as a whole in scenarios where you can educate them. You are improving your ratings, so brand reputation. You're potentially, because of that, also going to now have more visibility, better conversions on your listings, repeat customers, increased brand loyalty, and then improved pricing power. The larger your brand and the better your reviews, the more you can raise your retail prices, and you have to spend less on advertising because you're getting a lot more repeat customers.
Okay, and just in general, what are some of the mistakes that you're seeing that sellers are making just on a regular basis?
From a return standpoint?
Yeah.
I mean, I think anybody nowadays that's not just not putting enough work into their manuals, not creating an FAQ, definitely products that are more technical, not having how-to videos. Like, I think you really have to invest in some of these assets. I know it's a investment, but these one-time investments into a video, professional video of your product being built. I've even seen, now these 3D renderings from companies in China, where you just send the piece from your factory to their shooting studios, and they'll put it together and take it apart with a 3D render. And you don't even have to touch the product. You don't have to hire anybody. You just pay them. I think it's a few $100, and boom, this step-by-step. You can put it on your Amazon listing, QR code in the packaging, just getting customers to have a better experience with the product that they purchase, because after 30 seconds, they're deciding if it's going back or not.
Right. Yeah. And probably even less than that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we do have some questions, but just one other thing. And I think this is another big mistake people are doing, and this is on their insert, is that I always try to put a big red stop sign. Like, look, if you need help, let us know. But with this, you could just say the same thing about the listing. Go and see this big yellow contact
Sure.
us for customer support.
So we
So,
actually got an approved template from the Amazon team, from
yep,
our team over there, and there's an approved product insert that you can put in that speaks to support. So same thing like you mentioned, stop before returning this product. You can reach the brand directly, and with that QR code, if it's directed to our site, it's totally within TOS compliance.
fantastic. Okay, Kels, we have a bunch of questions.
Yes, we do. Okay, so first one is from Luke. Luke is asking, where will we be notified if a customer wants to communicate with us?
So it's extremely dynamic. So you can have it notify you in Slack, in Google Chrome, as a messenger pop-up, in your email. However you want to be notified, we could probably notify you.
Okay.
Okay, from Howard, how long does it take to set up?
2 weeks total, I would say. Sometimes as quick as we meet with them every Thursday. So sometimes if you sign up on a Tuesday, you can be live by Thursday. But I would say about, to be safe, 10 to 14 days.
Okay, and from Rad, our challenge on our return is the customer returns on our product without replacing our rechargeable battery. If we contact Amazon with the return ticket number and the picture of the missing item, we are unable to get a response. Do you know how we can contact the customer?
So that's more of like a reimbursement question, Red. Like a customer returning the product without, or sending the wrong product back. We have success in our other software business, the seller locker reimbursement business, where we go after customers and not the customers after tickets like these and try to get the reimbursements back. But if the customer is going that far to to steal and sneak, there's not much we can do to go after them and chase them down. But you can get that money back from Amazon in that particular scenario.
Okay, and we have a couple comments here. First one is from Tony. I've noticed not just our products, but for a lot of competitive brands or brands that I know have seen a huge influx of negative ratings, as almost anybody could leave a rating without even making a purchase. And from Luke, I had a product I needed help with, and it gave me to Amazon customer support, but I did get support through a customer service button. So
yeah, so that after we launched this product, so we're spearheading the PLS program from the third party side. So we have the right now to go after any of the 3P sellers, everyone that's using the FBA program. Amazon is taking on the 1Ps. So they're going after the vendors. They love the program. And they're pitching all the 1P side. So it's possible that you saw the 1P, a 1P brand. And like you mentioned, as I started off the podcast saying, they're trying to sell their $1, $2 per ticket chat software. So that that brand might have signed up for the PLS program, but is having Amazon do the customer support for them.
All right. Okay. Is that it for the questions, Kels?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, perfect. Perfect timing today. Is there anything else I may have missed out on? Oh, I do want to mention Seller Locker. So
nice.
yeah, why don't we just talk about that for a second? So this is a reimbursement side of the business, correct?
So Seller Locker is a company that we started about 5 years ago, which same concept, identifying a root problem in our business and building tech to go ahead and resolve that. And it's a reimbursement platform that is not just a software, but also a service. So you get the best of the software, a really great team going after the 17 different ways that Amazon can make mistakes. We recover a lot of money for our brands every single month.
Okay, very good. And Kelsey, is it sellerlocker.com or .io?
.com, yeah, we
Is
got
it?
the
Yeah.
.com on that one.
Okay, very good. Okay, so last chance. If you're interested in this great giveaway today, so it's either everybody gets this, by the way, it's 50% off of your onboarding fee. The lucky winner is going to have the whole thing waived, and that's a $400 value. So hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll get the second entry. And Kelsey, let's go to our final sponsor. I want to thank Jeff Schick Legal for sponsoring this episode of Lunch with Norm. You've probably heard on the podcast about Amazon suspensions. They're very real. It can happen at any time. And when it does happen, how do you get out of it? How does the little guy like you and me get out of these suspensions without paying an arm and a leg in legal fees? This is where Jeff Schick Legal is here to help. For a very low monthly retainer, for only $89, get access to Amazon attorney Jeff Schick. That's right. You can sit back, relax, enjoy that cup of coffee while listening to the Lunch with Norm podcast, knowing that you have an advocate and a partner in your business success. But wait, just mention Lunch with Norm and receive 50% off the first 2 months. Get the protection you need and visit jeffschick.com today. That's JEFFSCHICK.com. Now let's get back to the show. Okay, so it's time for the wheel.
Oh, wow.
Well, actually, Kelsey, should we get Joseph's contact info?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do that. All right, Joseph. So how do people get a hold of you or
Here's
your
my
company?
email, and this is my meeting link. So a lot of times customers have brand specific questions. They want to know how it could potentially help them in their categories that they sell in. So I just shared my email and my meeting link, and they can meet with me whenever it works for them.
All right, perfect. Kelsey's got that now in our chat. And then if you could just post that. Okay, Kels. All right, let's go over to the Wheel of Kelsey.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
Okay, a bunch of people today.
All right. Yeah. So we do this every single podcast. So make sure you come back Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time for more chances for our Wheel of Kelsey. I'll shuffle these up and let's see who today's winner is.
Oh, Howard. Congrats, Howard.
Congratulations,
Hi.
Howard. So we'll be reaching out to you with the code and connect you with your prize. Thanks again, Howard, for entering, and to all of our Beer Nation for entering. You've won a great prize.
All right. Okay, Joseph, I'm going to remove you here, but I want to talk to you in the waiting room. So anyways, thank you so much for coming on. Want more great information? Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here. Also, if you want to check out our latest podcast, click over here.
Lunch with Norm.